Thank you folks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is, as defined by your book as, psychological forces that determine the direction of a person's behavior in an organization, a person's level of effort, and a person's level of persistence in the face of obstacles. There are three factors that are affected by motivation. The first is effort, which refers to how hard people work. The second is persistence, which refers to whether when faced with roadblocks and obstacles, people give up or keep going. And the third is the direction of behavior, which is the many different behaviors that a person could engage in. So basically, motivation determines what someone is going to do, how hard they're going to do it, and when met with problems, whether or not they will keep going or quit. Motivation is key. Motivated behavior comes in two flavors: inward and external. Inwardly motivated behavior is behavior that is done for its own sake. The source of motivation is the behavior, and motivation comes from doing the work itself. BusinessDictionary.com's version is stimulation that drives an individual to adopt or change a behavior for his or her own internal satisfaction or fulfillment. Intrinsic motivation is usually self-applied and springs from a direct relationship between the individual and the situation. It is a very important factor in the design of a learning or training course. Jobs that are interesting and challenging are more likely to lead to intrinsic motivation. Simply put, people don't want to be bored at work. External. Externally motivated behavior is behavior that is performed to acquire material or social rewards, or to avoid punishment. The source of motivation is the consequences of the behavior, not the behavior itself. Psychology.about.com says pretty much the same thing. Extrinsic motivation refers to behavior that is driven by external rewards such as money, fame, grades, and praise. This type of motivation arises from outside the individual, as opposed to intrinsic motivation, which originates inside the individual. So this means that you work to receive pay, promotion, or rapport, or to avoid being talked to, written up, demoted, or fired for something. Let's recap. Here are some definitions you should know so far. What affects motivation? What determines whether or not a person is extrinsically motivated or intrinsically? Three factors determine this. Your book defines these factors as: number 1, a worker's own personal characteristics, for example, their personalities, abilities, values, attitudes, and needs. Number 2, the nature of their jobs, whether they have been enriched or where they are on the 5 core characteristics of the job characteristics model. And number 3, the nature of the organization, the culture, control systems, HR, and the rewards such as pay and how they're distributed to employees. A third flavor, or more like topping, is pro-socially motivated behavior. Pro-socially motivated behavior is behavior that is performed to benefit or help others. Behavior can be pro-social in addition to extrinsic or intrinsic. So what does this all mean? It's all about inputs and outcomes. Inputs are anything a person contributes to the job or organization. Examples could include time, effort, education, experience, skills, knowledge, and actual work behaviors. An outcome is anything a person gets from a job or organization. Managers use motivational techniques to spur employees on to increase what they input. Employees work hard for their own reasons, whether it's pro-social, just because, or to get something, which is an outcome. Thank you for viewing my lecture. I hope you found this to be at least entertaining.